All right, so last night I finished up a new 2025 found footage film called The Final Frame. And, at first, for the maybe first like 30 minutes, I thought I was watching like a complete knockoff recreation of another found footage film from this year called Looky. Now, of course, if they both came out in the same year, they can't be ripoffs of one another. But if you saw Looky, then you know that this is that story was about a guy who's filming his escapades as a stalker, essentially. And he is following this girl around and going into her house and looking through her shit. And then when she comes home, he's like hiding in her closet and filming her doing her day-to-day life as he's following her, right? So that's essentially what we get here for a while in this. Now, it does change itself up, right? I was like, oh God, is this just going to straight up be Looky Loo? It is not, which is good. And I think that is probably where I was the most happy with this, is in the change up that we have happen here. Unfortunately, kind of like with Looky Loo, there's just not enough going on to justify this concept. There's got to be a way to do this that makes it more interesting, because it really does start to wear itself thin after maybe like 10 minutes of someone just walking around and filming someone and then walking through their house and looking at stuff. And there was some cool additions here and there, a couple little things, but they only amount to maybe 10 or 20 seconds. And when you're doing it for 30 straight minutes, or in Looky Loo's case, literally the entire film, it just becomes a little bit monotonous. It's like, and to their credit, it does feel authentic in a way, right? Like this would be something a stalker might do, right? And that's fine. But the movie is still a movie, and it's still meant to be entertaining. And while it could be unsettling to some, where you get in your head about like being followed, someone who's paranoid about someone following them around, maybe this could be something that's like their nightmare, and so it just never seems to feel anything but nightmarish. I just personally, like, after like a few minutes, it's kind of like, okay, he's following her, like, okay, that is creepy. Yeah, like, to sit here and think, like, is someone in my house right now filming me, or is that's of course an unsettling feeling, but it just runs itself very thin after a certain amount of time for me. And so I was a bit checked out, because especially after I watched Looky Loo not even that long ago, I was like, oh God, we're doing this again. So I was a bit checked out. Then when the change up happens, I was like, oh cool. And then I got like focused back into it. And there were some cool things that happened there, but once again, this is only an hour and 10-minute movie, and it felt longer. It felt a little bit longer just because there's almost no dialogue spoken in the entire film. And a lot of it is just filming around a house, looking through things, filming her from a distance or whatever. And it's just, you gotta insert more drama. Like, there has to be more interaction with the character that he's stalking, right? Like, where maybe he's purposely leaving things around and then filming their reactions to finding those things, and having more interaction, having more dialogue, having more like panic, having more, something where they're antagonizing them, and we're getting some kind of weird entertainment out of the antagonization, right? Like that, I think might elevate a film like this from being so tiresome. Like, because as I said, it's just kind of like someone filming and no dialogue, and it's really nothing that interesting. After a few minutes, you're just kind of like, okay, I get the shtick. Like, he's following her, that's creepy, but it wears thin, right? So there's got to be a way to do this with no dialogue or very little dialogue, and it's from the killer's perspective or the creep's perspective or whatever, where it's more entertaining. Because Looky Loo, was, yeah, just I had that same issue for the entire film. This changed it up a little bit, but then it kind of still became that. It's better. It's got a little bit better of a thing going on, and the end was not super satisfying and might actually be silly to some people. I'm glad they went for it, which I was happy with. The movie I don't think has any dialogue at all until the last like 10 minutes. So it's really just a guy walking around filming. Um, Sometimes he'll just be filming like the sky for like a minute, that kind of stuff where you're like okay, I get that this is going for an authentic feel, but I will give the movie credit for being inventive and clever because I was taken by the change up. I was very surprised by it, mostly because of Looky, mostly because I was like, oh, we're just gonna do the same shit, right? But they didn't, and I was like, oh, now I'm very interested. Let's see where this goes. And I thought they did okay with that stuff. Not terrible, and not amazing. Where I thought for a second, I was like, oh, this could be really cool. And it just kind of like, it didn't really live up to what I thought it could be. But I still think I still think it's all right. I think that if you were a big fan of Looky Loo, I definitely would say check this out. Um, yeah, I was okay with it. I stayed up till 3 in the morning watching it. Um, because I mean it's only like an hour long, as I said, so it was a pretty quick watch. But it had potential that I feel like it didn't live up to, but I still commend them for coming up with something that intrigued me when it happened. So good on them for that one. So I think they had a good idea here. Um, that's that. Final Frame. It's on Tubi. It's rentable. It's I think I saw it somewhere else as well. Um, oh, it's on Found TV. Yeah, that's where I think I started originally watching it, and then I went over to Tubi and I couldn't figure out. I was like, wait, I thought I was watching this, and then after I put it back on and I found the place that I was, then I realized that I'd started this on Found TV, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah. So Found TV is an app for just found footage horror, and it's either a monthly subscription or free with ads for most of the movies. So that's that. Anyway, let me know if you watch it. Adios.